did you guys know XLOV video has most view in my channel right now? But at the same time, a lot of the comments are telling me that I'm transphobic, so I don't really know if I want to do another video. This is something very sensitive. Please don't take me wrong. You know, I liked XLOV's music, but sometimes when you follow through a group where their gender or preference are uncommon, or when you follow a group where the racial diversity is high, what happens is that the audience and the fandom is naturally very sensitive in that area. And for me personally, I'm not necessarily as someone who is very good at, being knowledgeable and sensitive. So I don't necessarily like the atmosphere. That's in the same sense when I look at Cat's Eye fandom. There's too many sort of a racial talk about which members might be getting discriminated, blah, blah, blah. And for me, I'm kind of there to just enjoy the music. I don't really want to, gossip through which racism exists or not. And same thing with XLOV. Like, I don't mind. Like, I just like the music and stuff. But like, if you say something like slightly wrong, then people are like, oh, like, are you currently questioning their, sexuality? And I'm just like, I don't really have any, like, it just kind of feels like uncomfortable for me to speak sometimes. Again, I'm sorry I'm generalizing right now, but that's the reason why I sometimes are a little bit more hesitant to speak or follow through with those kind of fandom. Do you see where I'm coming from? What's ironic is like, okay. Hear me out. I might be wrong. I really might be wrong, but like, there's that weird sensation where the countries and the groups that are supposed to be open-minded ends up being more sensitive and becomes more harder to explicitly talk about it. Because, when there's a lot of pain and there's a lot of history of discrimination, then people oftentimes becomes more defensive over the years. It's not their fault because they actually have been sort of getting the wrong treatment, which I totally understand. And even if I say this, I feel like this also could be possibly giving them a negative image. Yeah. I don't know. I'm very sorry I kind of spoke about this. Here's the thing. I'm not saying sorry because I don't want to get in trouble. In fact, I don't really care about me getting canceled or what. I always say I don't want to get canceled. I'm afraid to get canceled. But at the same time, if I really was afraid, I wouldn't say these things out loud. But at the same time, the reason why I'm saying sorry is because it makes it as if I'm making everyone who enjoys XLOV or Cat's Eye like just hypersensitive people. So, mind you, I'm insensitive. And I think one of the reasons why I'm insensitive is because, where'd you guys grow up? Which country did you guys grow up? I grew up in Korea and I lived half of my life in Korea. And I'm sure you guys are aware, but as a country, culturally, East Asian countries like Korea, Japan, China, I think in a lot of the areas, we tend to have more conservative value than Western countries. So even if I feel like, oh, I think I'm pretty open-minded, if I compare it to US standards, I might not be. Same thing with if you're from Middle East, same thing if you're from Europe. You know how each country sort of has, each culture has different standard on that? So over the years, while I was talking to homies in chat and I live streamed, I only realized, wow, I have a very close-minded mentality because I thought I was very open-minded. Not in the sense of like the Hongdae boy being like, I'm open-minded. Not even in that sense, but like, I thought I was pretty accepting new information. And I came to realization that, my mind is not as flexible as some of you guys. By the way, I know this could kind of sound political. There are people who believe in conservative values in America, and there's people who believe in liberal values in America. I'm not necessarily talking about what political preference you have, even though I think cultural preference in the open-mindedness connects to politics. This is, it kind of got swayed from the K-pop talk. Ironically, I think it's actually all related. Do you guys agree? All of this is actually all in K-pop. So people might think K-pop is just, it's just like music, it's just fandom. But there is all like a nuance of the open-mindedness or the new culture or things like that. And that's also why certain groups appeal better at certain countries and things like that. But yeah, so I'm not necessarily saying, politically liberal is more correct. I think those kind of mentality is very dangerous, to just say something's correct and something's not, but rather it's more so of being open-minded to others' opinion, new opinion. You know what I think, especially with XLOV, what made me think a lot is what was openly accepted as incorrect might change over history. This is such a sensitive topic. Maybe I should stop talking about this. But the values that we found correct or incorrect changes over the years. Kind of similar to like the US, whether slavery or whether racism or things like that. Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. Can I just say it? Can I just say it? Wow, guys, I read a really shocking document. So, I forgot what the exact term was, but did you know back in the 1900s, there was a medical condition that only happened to black people? Hear me out until the end. The doctors in the 1900s said, oh, there seems to be... I can't even tell if this is a mockery or not. People are gonna think this is a joke, but I really got into Harvard. But anyway, okay, hear me out. This is a very sensitive topic, so I have to phrase it correctly. No. Doctors in the 1900s believed that there was a mental illness with some population of black people where this mental illness makes them want to be freed from their owners. Can you guys believe this? Like, they genuinely thought this was a medical condition for wanting to be free. I'm not making this up. This is like, so they were thinking this as if it's like a mental illness, and to treat it, you have to stop treating them nicely so they don't suffer from this disease. And I'm like, what? Like, what? It's so crazy, right? How is that a medical condition? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's like, it's absurd, right? But you know what's scary? It's the fact that at the time, those doctors probably thought they were so smart and they knew what they're talking about and say like, oh, this must be a mental condition, So it's so scary to me where over the years, what you think of as correct is so incorrect. You see where I'm coming from? And here's the scary part. It's like, now you might think, how could they think that? But guys, there's probably something that we think is okay that's not going to be okay when we become 80 years old. Do you see where I'm coming from? There's things that we don't even notice that this is wrong, but by the time we turn 80, people are going to be like, Grandpa, you can't say that. And then you'll say, I said this my whole life. What's wrong with saying this? And we're going to be one of those people. Like, what if someone said it's very wrong to call someone's hair long or short? Like, and you might be like, what is wrong with calling someone's hair long or short? And then someone say, like, oh, that's very insensitive. It's going to be very difficult for you to take that because you lived a life where that was not an issue. In my opinion, that might happen with robots. That's why I keep telling you guys. You know how people say clankers? You might be like, Hyosang, are you seriously pulling up the whole XLOV and Cat's Eye talk into the AI and robots? But I actually think it might not be different. Where right now, the things that we think is like, oh, robots don't have emotions, AIs don't have emotions, but soon we might be fighting for their rights. And this might make a lot of people upset. Like, are you really comparing humans with robots? But I'm saying it's something like that where, previously what you think of as not normal becomes normal. Anyway, sorry I got a little bit swayed. Yes, so... Anyway, sorry for the crazy talk. This is gonna be... I don't want to get stoned for saying this. I might get stoned for saying this. Am I gonna upload this to channel? Should I? Do you think it's okay for me to upload this? I want to. Because I actually like speaking my opinions out loud. You know what the only issue is? When I upload these videos, people only see the first 5 seconds and they run to the comment section and type, he's racist. Do you guys see where I'm coming from? They don't actually listen to the whole thing. They listen to the first 2 minutes and then write the comments. And it makes me think, but the whole video is not about that. So it makes me kind of sad. Yeah. And it's fine because I sometimes do the same thing. I don't always leave comments after watching the full videos. I leave comments while I'm watching the video. So I think it's totally okay for people to say what they want to. But my only scared part is like my intentions getting incorrectly given. Yo, your videos have like 100 different topics. It does. I'm sorry, it's very inconsistent in topic. It's just the way I talk. Always a percentage of people that jumps to conclusion. You know what my worry is though? I feel like in the internet, there's more people who jump to conclusion who doesn't thoroughly listen than the people who thoroughly listen. Do you guys agree? There's more irrational people than rational people. So the world is actually not that logical. So I can't really complain and say people don't understand me because that's how the world is. It's always been like that, Exactly. I don't want my words twisted. Luckily, I haven't had this issue. Wow, guys. Okay, this is a little bit, totally separate topic. I had an experience once where, do you guys know Pomhan? Anyone know who Pomhan is? He's a singer. He's also, he used to be idol trainee. Well, do you guys remember when Pomhan released his first song? You might not remember, but there was a time where he released his first song, but a lot of people didn't like it. And someone said, oh, Hyosang, Pomhan released a song. Take a listen to it. And I listened to it on stream, right? And I said like, oh, it's good, but like blah, blah, blah. The production, I feel like could have been blah, blah, blah. I made some comments, right? And then there was a girl who was watching my live stream at the time. She edited the parts where I said bad things about the song and then sent it to him. Like, she posted on TikTok and then she tagged Pomhan and then Pomhan said, sorry, King, in the comments. And I'm like, oh my God, like, why would you do this? Why would you do this? And you know what's crazy? She didn't even do it with a bad intention. Like, it was a Pomhan's fan account. And I'm like, is this real? Yeah. So I panicked and I told her to like delete that video right now. But here's the thing. What's the point of deleting that video if he already saw it? He already saw it and he left a comment saying, I'm sorry, King, like for the bad music or something like that. And I'm like, So you know what I did? Even though he doesn't know me, he probably doesn't even know that I exist, but I wrote a DM to him. I think I wrote in the Instagram DM saying like, I don't know if you saw this video, but like someone uploaded this, but that was not the intention, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Yes. So he didn't reply. Like, I don't know if he saw the DM, but I sent it just, yeah. Why didn't he watch the full video first though? No. It's not that he didn't watch the full video. Like, I talked about it on live stream and someone edited the part that I said bad things. Like, it wasn't even like, okay, I didn't even say bad thing. You know what the video was? It was something like this. It was like, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was me listening to a song and it was me going like, and then, the boom audio, boom, like, and then it makes it seem like I hate it, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't mind if you clip a part where I say something nice about another group, but when I say something bad and you clip it out, then and here's the thing, sometimes I do say bad things. I do say I don't like this song, I don't like this group. But like, maybe it's back talking, so maybe it's my fault. But there's a difference between saying it here versus saying it publicly and like in front of them, so, well, that makes you a gentleman. No, I'm not a gentleman, guys. What do you think about XLOV? Like, that's the thing. It's like, that's how this whole talk began. But it's your opinion. Oh, here's the thing, guys. Okay, let me elaborate on this. I'll finish this talk and then, being honest and having your own opinion is your freedom. But I think it only becomes an issue and you need to be careful when you share an opinion to someone else. What I mean by that is, I could order from the local Burger King and eat the burger and say, God, I hate this burger. But there's a difference between being honest in the fact that I don't like this burger from Burger King versus going to the Burger King manager to their face and saying like, this burger trash, quit your job. You know what I mean? So I could totally say it at my house, but like, it's different. So it's kind of like honesty isn't always correct if you hurt someone's feeling. So the issue with some of these videos being out of context is the fact that it's kind of like, imagine me saying like, I don't like Burger King's burger, and then like they post that, and they send it to Burger King CEO, yeah. But like, for example, how I make music? Someone could listen to my music and say, oh, I don't like his voice. That's fine. But there's a difference between that versus them coming to my live and saying like, I hate your song, it's disgusting. And I'm like, why did you have to come here to say that? Like, why travel all the way here? So that's why I think, but at the same time, how internet, clips and videos just flow? Now that I think about it, guys, I think the Pomhan, that situation, I don't even know what the exact intention was, but that's why I think that's the part I need to be a little bit more careful, where I have to think that if I say something online, that it could just travel anywhere. But at the same time, that's difficult because I'm not a good person. I say bad things. Yes. By the way, I love Burger King Whopper. I think Whopper is better than Big Mac. But now if you clip this and then you send it to the McDonald's CEO who doesn't even bite the burgers. Well, Clearly seems like the Burger King CEO likes the burger more than the McDonald's CEO. I don't know if you guys saw the video. Actually, it's fine. Actually, it's fine. I could be a little bit mean to McDonald's CEO because, boy, what do you mean $12 for K-pop Demon Hunter's Happy Meal? Like, what do you have in there? Steak? So, you know. So, oh, the Big Arch? I haven't tried that. I know that's like a new burger, but alright, cuties. It was fun today. It was very fun today. I enjoyed talking with you guys. And tomorrow, I'll try to come up with some content. I think I'm gonna do the fashion content. That sounds really fun, right? Alright, cuties. It was fun. And I will see you guys tomorrow.